hello, collective. Thank you for being here and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Before wasting any more time, let's tap right into it. Let's see what energies be surrounding the collective. What is it that the collective needs to work on? Yeah, right now you come off as somebody who's very much passionate with life. You come off as a go getter. You come off as somebody who's very much confident. It's more like you say what you accomplish whatever you set your mind on. You have a lot of people looking up to you. You come off as a good manifester as well. Yeah, people view you as somebody of righteousness. You always do things the good way. You may even be having people thinking that you are a princess, you know but I feel it's because you are the divine feminine. You are sensitive to the bullshit. You always choose the highway. You always choose the right way. Yeah, you have a lot of people who has cloaked that. The people view you as somebody who's always doing things the right way. You have these high morals that you've set for yourself. Yeah, I feel people view you as somebody who cannot stand chaos. You just don't want any tension surrounding you. You are somebody who's more like, you don't like unnecessary drama. Yeah, you have a lot of people feeling like you are way too enlightened. You don't like unnecessary drama. You know what is it that you have to entertain and what is it that you don't have to. Yeah, you come off as very much passionate though. You people view you as somebody who's very much fearless. You have this drive to go after things. You have this edge to create new things. Yeah, you come off as very much complete. It's more like you've been through a lot of lessons. Now it's more like you are done. You've very much matured. You are now very much aware. You have clarity. You are no longer as immature like you used to. You have a lot of people feeling like you did well for yourself. You did well than actually expected. Yeah, you have a lot of people feeling like you are somebody who's very much skillful. You know how to create opportunities for yourself. You know how to think out of the box. People view you as somebody who's more like a mastermind. You know how to build things. Yeah, you have a lot of people actually amazed at your skill development. You are somebody who's more like, you are inspiring. You are inspiring a lot of people. People didn't think for you to be somebody who thinks out of the box. People didn't think for you to be somebody who's very much well, established. People didn't think for you to be somebody who can start anything. Yeah, pretty much. People see you as somebody whom they can learn from. You have a lot of people even actually fixated on you, wanting to learn from you. People feel like you have the blueprint. Yeah, you have a lot of people also envious, trying to speak down on you, but then it doesn't, it doesn't kick stick, because these are people who just want to minimize you. But overall, you have a lot of people learning from you. People, yeah, pretty much they view you as somebody who knows how to create. They view you as somebody who has willpower. You have a lot of people viewing you as somebody who's very much action orientated, pretty much. And you give a lot of people hope. You give a lot of people hope. Just so you should know, collective. Yeah, you may be somebody who loves to work by themselves. You may be somebody who loves to spend most of your time by yourself. I feel it's because you are actually spiritually guided. It's more like it's an inner calling. You are guided to be by yourself. You may be somebody who absorb energies when you are surrounded by a lot of people. You may be somebody who absorb energies, and it starts overwhelming you. Rather be by yourself, whereby recharge easily. You can be yourself easily. You can even listen to your body and your thoughts easily. You are somebody who's more like guided. People view you as somebody who's more like wise. They view you as somebody who's wise beyond your years. Some they may view you as cold, for not wanting to associate or engage with them. Yeah, you may have a lot. Some people feeling like you're too full of yourself for not wanting to engage with them. But I feel it's because it may be for your own good as well. It's also for your own good as well. Yeah, you may have been through a lot of darkness. I feel whoever I'm talking to, you may have been through a lot of painful situations. You may have been through a lot of painful endings. I feel you may have been went through a lot of phases whereby people wanted to see you uh, outcasted, wanted to backstab you, whereby people were actually, wanting you to be fucked up. But then it seems like you prevailed, because you came out prospering. It's more like these people, they are more like they send you to the wolves, and then you came back leading the pack, pretty much. These are people who are so astonished and amazed by your prosperity, because these people, they may have thought that isolating you was going to make your life miserable. They wanted you to go through all those dark lessons, they wanted you to go through the dark night of the shadow, thinking that it was going to you were going to have this mental breakdown. You're going to lose yourself. But instead, it's more like you came out a prosper. You more like you came out looking like nothing that you've been through. You came out looking like nothing like that you've been through. It's more like you you've explored a lot. You've explored a lot of sacred knowledge, of unknown information. You've explored a lot. I feel being isolated helped you with actually learning stuff for yourself, for your growth. Yeah, you come off as very much as somebody who's very much prideful. You more like you love yourself, you respect yourself, and you've accepted that you can see yourself in everyone else. It's more like you acknowledge the fact that not everyone is the same. Not everyone is the same, and actually everyone has their own journey to go through. Yeah, you've changed a lot. People view you as somebody who's changed a lot. You inspire people right now. You are the one who's inspiring people right now. These are people who feel like you've accepted the responsibility for your well-being. You didn't want to blame anyone else for your well-being. It's more like you utilized the opportunity to be isolated for your own growth, for your own elevation. You expanded. And now it's more like you are inspiring people. You look very much happier. You are in the right path. You are in the right path. Yeah, these people wanted you to fail so bad, but instead you took your mistakes and actually improvised on them. You created opportunities to learn. Right now they feel like failures. These people, they feel like failures because they didn't expect for you to be so complete, so fulfilled. you know these are people who didn't expect for you to be so fulfilled. You are very much more in Uranus. It's more you in Jupiter. Pretty much, is more like the will is changing for you. It's more like it's a turning point for you. These are people who didn't expect for you to reach your completeness. They are feeling very much more like failures. Whoever these people are, yeah, they see you are not worried by being by yourself. You actually love being by yourself. Nothing is worrying you. It's more like now they see you as very much cold, as though like nothing affects you. Nothing worries you. Nothing can actually, you don't have any emotions. These people view you as somebody who's more like you don't have any emotions anymore. you know you went through the darkness and you came out alive, beautiful, kicking and smiling. Yeah, right now they envy that way too much. They envy that. They want your transformation, but then they hate your scars. These are people who want your transformation yet hate your scars. They cannot stand being alone. They can never even be alone. They cannot afford to be alone. These are people who are so scared of being by themselves. They always want to be part of groups. Yeah, they don't know how to be grounded. They don't know how to be grounded. I feel their root chakra is unstable. Their root chakra is very much unstable. Yeah, they are viewing you having this passion for life. It's more like you are bringing unexpected changes for yourself. You are bringing forth unexpected changes for yourself. With the magician being here, you are being yourself. You know, you don't try to imitate anyone, and you are taking action. You are taking action, going after things that you love, going after things that you want. Exactly, with Mars being here. Yeah, Pluto being here. Pluto is judgment. These are people who are gaining clarity and awareness. Exactly. These are people who are gaining clarity and awareness. These are people who are more like getting spiritual aha moments. These are people who are getting spiritual aha moments. Yeah, you come off as very much communicative. You may be very much direct with your communication, you know? Yeah, you are being led to calmer waters. Right now, you are being led to calmer waters. Continue listening to your intuition. Yes, continue maintaining those standards you've set for yourself. Yes, continue be around people who are actually respecting and accepting of you, not people who want to project and minimize you. Continue being around people of who brings forth highest connections towards you. Whoever I'm talking to, you are very much in control. You come off as very much dependable. You have a lot of people depending on you, on your energy. It's more like you are this father figure, or this mother figure if you're a woman. People know to trust your judgment. Yeah, people know to trust your judgment. You're stressing a lot of people, especially your bullies. As they are watching you move into calmer waters, they are very much stressed about you. With the Five of Swords being here, they wanted to win at all costs. These are people who see that nothing, nothing is said on stones. Nothing is said on stones. Yep, truth prevails. They may have lied for quite a very long time, but then it seems like their lies ran short. Truth still prevailed, irrespective of how long, or, yeah, truth still prevailed. Yeah, these people, I feel they see you've let go, you've surrendered. You are no longer want to be part of them or of anything. You no longer even procrastinate. You know, it's more like your inner. You have this inner peace. You have this inner peace. Yeah, and you are very much practical, and you are very much practical and grounded in who you are. Continue working on your manifestations. Continue my working on your manifestation, as that is what brings injustice your way. As that is what brings injustice your way. Yeah, you come off as somebody who's more independent, you know, rebuilding themselves. You may be enjoying the fruits of your labor, yet you come off as somebody who's working hard. You come off as somebody who's more of a hustler. You know, you are very much practical. You have people who wanted you to self sabotage. You have people who wanted you to self sabotage. These are people who are so fixated on you. You know, they are watching you patiently. You know, they are so patiently watching you. You have people who are watching you, they want you to self sabotage. These are women. These are figures women that wants to reconcile with you. They are so invested. They are so invested. Yeah, you are protected. Do not worry. You are very much protected. With the temperance being here, you are very much protected. Continue manifesting. Work on bringing your dreams to reality. Work on bringing your manifestations to reality. You are almost close. You know, with the Eight of Pentacles being here, continue manifesting.